So boys, in the previous section we saw something about the paragraphs in which we came across the structure, the three important components: unity, coherence, and connection. Okay, that is how a particular sentence has got a very good structure. And we saw some example, and in the last part of the video we saw some slides that uh, where some words were there, like for example the place, time, importance, and the cause for it, the contrasting ideas, like for example in spite of, on the other hand, the structure. Okay, so in this session we are going to see something about the types of paragraph, its description, sequence, comparison, and contrast. So here you can see the paragraphs are composed in different ways depending on the purpose for which they are composed. Depending on the purpose for which they are composed. The following are some important types of paragraphs, and in each model the central idea is the Olympics. So you can come across the central idea that forms the main structure, and is treated in different ways, like depending on the purpose, description, sequence. Purpose, description, sequence. I think you should know the meaning of everything. You note down separately what are the meaning of these things when you compare and contrast, and then cause and effect. Cause and effect was very essential because we have to give some meaning to what we are writing. And then we had to see the persuasion, how you persuade this paragraph, and how you augment. Augment means argument. Argument is the discussion. We are set to acquaint ourselves to address each of these here in the following paragraphs. So the central idea is the Olympics. It's all about Olympics. So let us see how interesting it is. Description forms a very important part of writing. That is, we have to describe a sunset, an instrument and a machine, an accident, a character, and so on. The following paragraph describes the Olympic symbol. So what is it about? The Olympic symbol consists of 5 interlocking rings. The rings represent 5 continents. Okay, we are aware of these 5 continents. What are the 5 continents? They are Africa, Asia, Europe, North America, and South America. So what are the 2 other continents we are missing? I think we have to write about the Antarctica is one continent. Antarctica is one continent. Then Asia, Europe, Africa, and Australia is also another continent. So in fact we have 7 continents, but we are only mentioning 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Because initially Australia was a desert. It was a kind of prison set by the people of Europe, particularly the British people. They ruled over the entire continent, and they ruled the entire world, and they had a lot of political prisoners. And they took all of them to the Australia. So Australia is still a big desert, but now it has developed. So it is still a continent. Australia and New Zealand are still a continent, but they come under the Asia Pacific. So you define a new thing such as the Asia Pacific. So in the Pacific, you come across this. You consider this Australia and New Zealand, and even Tasmania. It's a small island that's very famous for the tourism. Apart from athletes come to compete in the game, the rings are colored black, blue, green, red, and yellow. At least one of these colors is found in the flag in every country sending athletes to compete in the Olympic Games. So this is the beginning, and it's a description that is being given here. Right? This paragraph begins with a topic sentence. As the paragraph is about the Olympic symbol, the first sentence introduces the Olympic symbol, and then the states, and then the symbol consists of 5 interlinked symbols. So a symbol is first described, then states, and then the symbol consists. States means you should know that it is the 5 continents that we have mentioned above, and then the next sentence goes to say that 5 rings represent 5 continents from which athletes come to compete. The next sentence says about the color of the rings. Finally, the connection between the color of the ring and the flag of the country is pointed. ஒவ்வொரு கண்ட்ரிலையும் ஒரு கலர் ஏதாவது இருக்கும் இல்லையா, அந்த 5 கலர், இட்ஸ் ஆக்சுவலி சம் prime colors are there. In chemistry, we consider the prime colors as we draw an artist wheel in which we put the six colors. Okay, so these six colors consist of V, violet, green, and orange. So when green is absorbed, red is emitted out. When orange is absorbed, blue is emitted out. When violet is absorbed, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. Violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. So they all come under VPR, you know very well. You get the seven colors, and within the seven, there are six basic colors. While violet and blue, they are almost similar. So they have cut forward and put something a bluish violet color, and they're given the five colors. So all the five colors are just in overlapping over a particular spectrum. So they have got the five colors. This is a well-knit paragraph, and it's well written in the lucid style. Lucid means something tasty, that is you can enjoy, and very pleasant, right? So it is a very pleasant paragraph that has come across there. So coming back to the next part of this paragraph, sequence is there. Sometimes we'll have to present certain things sequentially. Sequentially means it's a kind of what we have in movies, so sequence 1 2 3 like that, and there we could have to do some good editing. If the sequence is not proper, there is a lot of suspense. So nowadays we see a lot of suspense in the movies. Sometimes uh, a climax is given in the beginning of the movie, and then the story is being told 6 months ago, 7 months ago. So it's not in sequence. But when you have sequence, it should be in a very lucid style. So if it's not a sequence, usually some novels which are fictitious, they are not in sequence, and therefore unless you read the entire novel, it will be very difficult for you to understand what is happening and how it has been written. That is in a logical order and sequence. For instance, writing a biography, describing an accident, and writing about manufacturing a product, which is a process. All these writings. So manufacturing a product. Okay. Suppose if you want to manufacture a biscuit, okay, how many things you have to start with? You have to start with the flour, you have to grind it, and you have to make a dough. Okay, so when you make a dough, you have to put is equal amount of appropriate amount of salt and appropriate amount of sugar, and then the agent, that is the what is that wetting agents, and so many things are there in the back, in the carbonates, and then see, so you know about the bakery. So that is the sequence in which you have to properly tell. You cannot go from the backwards. So it should be in a chronological order. Chronological means time based. Time based. So it is a chronological order. So if you write your biodata, you write in a chronological order. You write about SSLC, how much percentage. You write about then HSC percentage school, and then you write about BSc. So this is called as a chronological. You don't write with the MSc and then suddenly come back to SSLC and then go to that. So that's not a chronological order. So it's not even logical. It's a something very proper way of saying those things. So read the following paragraph. The Olympic began as the athletic festivals to honor the Greek gods. So here comes the origin, how the Olympics started, right? So the Olympics, the Olympic Games were Greeks. So where is it? So it started in the Greece. Okay, it's an European country. The most important festival in the Valley of Olympia. That means you need to know that Olympia is a place. So honor of the Zeus is the king of the gods. So it's a mythical character. It was the festival. It was this festival that became the Olympics. Not mythical, but it is true. I think some history is there. Okay, some history is there. You can read that about later. And Olympic Games in 776 before Christ. These games were ended in AD in 394. Like now we are in AD 2000. Now we are in AD 2000 AD. So it is 2020 AD now. So that means you have to be about 1600 years back. It happened. 1600 years back it happened by the Roman Emperor who ruled Greece. Greece is a small country in Europe. Its capital is Nicosia. You can see that in the Greece has a very good rich history of civilization. The Olympic Games were in for more than 1,500 years. Then the modern Olympics began in 1896. It's an important point for you to remember. Almost 300 male athletes competed the first modern Olympics. In the games held in 1900, in the year 1900, female athletes were allowed to compete. That means, previously that they were not allowed. Women were not allowed to compete. Now they have been included. The games have continued every 4 years since 1896, except during World War. So you need to know when the World War took place. Any idea about the World War? I think the first World War was in the year 1914 to 1914 to 1918 or 16, something like that. And then the Second World War, it took place in 1944 to 45 or 46, something like that. So you can find from your reading that even started from the origin of Olympic Games to present development has been presented sequentially. The order of the event, order, how it happened, it's been maintained strictly. So order means, it started from 776 BC. They are mentioning about 394 AD, and then they're telling about 1500 years, and they tell about 1896, and then 1900, and then 1896 was on the how it has been omitted in the following years is sequential. that is what is being given here. 776, right? 776, 394, 1896, and okay. So that is the first thing is the sequence in the paragraph. The next thing is the comparison and contrast. Comparison plays a vital role in one's life. Drawing a comparison between two things are alike. Alike is unavailable. That or unlike means similar. Okay, it's unavoidable. So you cannot draw a uh, comparison between two similar things. So in any comparison, we talk about things that are similar, whereas in the contrast, we speak about the dissimilarities. Contrast is about dissimilarities. Okay, similar things, means is comparison. In similar things, we have comparison. For example, we can compare and contrast the ocean and lake. Compare and contrast the ocean and lake because they are filled with water. So you can always compare and contrast the water, ocean and lake. And what is the next point that is being said there? But in the paragraph, in a comparison between the ancient and modern Olympic Games, so it is also compared there. The modern Olympics is very unlike the ancient Olympic Games, in which events were different. While there are no swimming races in the ancient games, பழைய காலத்தில் there were chariot races. Chariotனா என்ன, உங்களுக்கு இந்த உடன் வீல்ஸில் ஹார்ஸ் கார்ட் மாதிரி இருக்கும். Chariot is a horse drawn cart. Okay, so I think in old movies you can see those things. So one of the example is the Braveheart. Is a very good movie. Braveheart, and it has got a very good chariot race, and then it was done by Mel Gibson, and then the what is that movie? Some movies are there in which Ben-Hur. It's a very good movie in which you have these chariot races are there. There are no female contestants and all of this competed in the nude. That means, there was no such civilization and culture. However, the ancient and modern Olympics are also like in many ways. Some events such as the javelin and discus throws are the same. People say that cheating, professionalism, nationalism and modern games are dangerous to the Olympic tradition. This is an important point nowadays. What is happening is there are so many movies that are describing this, particularly what is happening. This particularly Dangal is a movie in which this kind of thing is highlighted. Movie by Amir Khan, and then you have got so many movies like, for example, that describe that. So Irudi Sutru is there, right? Is about the boxing. What how much types of politics is there? Irudi Sutru. I think it is Irudi Sutru by Madhavan is there. So it tells you some of the things. You have to look for the movies in and decide about the background, whether it is only made for the fantasy or whether some true stories are there. You should be able to differentiate between the movies that are based on true stories and the movies that are only for fun. So usually you can find out when you try to analyze the particular movie. So here are some movies which can help you understand what has happened in the previous years and what is the politics and what is the thoughts in there. So cheating, nationalism and processes in the Olympics was already there. After going through the paragraph, you may notice the writer's analysis of similarities and differences between the ancient and modern. Similarities and difference between ancient and modern. பழையகாலம் புதுசு காலம். Olympic Games. A careful reading of the paragraph points to the fact that the writer devotes na கொடுக்குறது. The first half of the paragraph to discover முதல்ல வந்து dissimilarities சொல்லியிருக்கான். அப்புறம் வந்து modern ancient Olympic Games the second half similarities சொல்லியிருக்கான். அதுதான் சொல்றேன். So first it is given similarities, the next is dissimilarities is similarities. This is a paragraph can be composed differently. That is devoting the first half to speak similarities and the modern Olympic Games the second half to the dissimilarities. இப்படி கூட கொடுக்கலான்றான். முதல்ல இங்க வந்து டிசிமிலாரிட்டிஸ் கொடுத்துருக்கான், எது எது ஒத்து வரல அது கொடுத்துருக்கான், அப்புறம் சிமிலாரிட்டிஸ் கொடுத்துருக்கான். பட் அது டிஃப்ரெண்டா கம்போஸ் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா ஓகே இட் ஷுட் பி டிஃப்ரெண்ட் மீன்ஸ் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஹாஃப்ல அந்த பேராகிராஃப்ல சிமிலாரிட்டிஸ் கொடுத்துட்டு செகண்ட் ஹாஃப்ல டிசிமிலாரிட்டிஸ் கொடுக்கலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்றாரு. இஸ் டாக்கிங் அபவுட் தட் பர்டிகுலர் திங், ரைட்? So the next last part of this is the cause and effect. So cause and effect is a very good thing in science also. In the theory of relativity which was postulated by Einstein, we always see cause and effect and are reason and cause. What is the reason for this? Okay, so cause comes first and then there is a reason for it to explain. What we sow is what we reap is being explained there. என்ன நாங்க பூமியில போடுறோமோ அதுதான் நமக்கு வரும். இட்ஸ் a familiar proverb. proverbனா என்ன? இந்த மாதிரி சொல்றது தான் proverb. it is a proverb. எல்லாமே வந்து பூமியில விதை போடுறது இல்லை, பட் நாங்கள் என்ன பண்ணுறோமோ அது நம்ம திருப்பி வருவோம் சொல்லியா, வாட் வி கால் இஸ் தி கர்மா. ஓகே, that is the kind of proverb there. According to the proverb, the sowing the cause and reaping the effect is a result. Cause and effect are inseparable. தனியாக பிரிக்க முடியாது. இந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிறதுனால தான் இப்படி வந்துச்சு. The student spends many hours daily to study in his or lessons. She will score good marks. So very important point there. Hard work is a cause. Hard work is a cause of, and scoring good marks is a result. So result and cause, these two things are connected. How? By means of hard work and by means of good result is there. Okay, so we now move on to the next page there. It slows down and here is that. The paragraph in below is a good example to illustrate the cause. There are several reasons why so many people attend Olympics. So many people attend Olympics games and watch them on television. சில பேர் வந்து அட்டென்ட் பண்றாங்க, சில பேர் வந்து டிவியில பார்க்குறாங்க. ஒன் ரீசன் இஸ் ட்ரெடிஷன். முதல் காரணம் வந்து ட்ரெடிஷன். ட்ரெடிஷன் என்ன? நாங்கள் ட்ரெடிஷன் வந்து ஜனவரியில் பொங்கல் கொண்டாடும் போது நல்லா வேஸ்ட் இது போட்டுட்டு இந்த கரும்பு இது வச்சு பொங்கல் ஆக்குறோம் இல்லையா, அதுதான் வந்து ட்ரெடிஷன் இஸ் we celebrate பொங்கல். And particularly it is the festival by the farmers. But what has happened now, it has become just a style, but we still continue to follow the tradition and we should not leave our tradition. The name Olympics and the torch remind people about the ancient games. Remind na திரும்பி சொல்றது. People can escape the ordinaries of the life by attending and watching the Olympics. They like to identify with someone's sacrifice and accomplishment. Escape ordinaries-na சில டெய்லி பண்ணக்கூடிய விஷயத்தை வந்து நீங்கள் அதை பண்ணிகிட்டே இருந்தாக்கா நீங்கள் அதை பார்க்க முடியாது இல்லையா, அட்டென்ட் பண்ண முடியாது. அதனால என்ன சொல்கிறாங்க, டிவியில் பார்க்கலாம் அப்படின்னு நம்ம வாட்சிங் த ஒலிம்பிக்ஸ். டு ஐடென்டிஃபை சம்மன் சாக்ரிஃபைஸ் அண்ட் அக்காம்ப்ளிஷ்மெண்ட். அக்காம்ப்ளிஷ்மெண்ட்னா எதை சாதிக்கிறது. நேஷனல் ப்ரைட் இஸ் another reason. An athlete's team or team hard and victories become a nation's victory. There are national medal counts and people keep track of how many medals the country athletes have won. So இது வந்து அப்படியே புரியுது. The paragraph lists various reasons the cause of people attending the as watching the games on television and benefits they get. Persuasionனா நீங்க வந்து யூஸ் பண்றது. You can persuade your friend to go along with you on tour. வரதே இல்லை சார் அப்படின்னா நீங்க வந்து பர்சுவேட் பண்ணலாம். You can persuade. Okay, you can persuade. A request. It's a kind of a request you are going to make, and you have to make it positive. There are many cases where we have to persuade others for a good cause and for the good. Read the following paragraph and analyze how the writer has composed the paragraph. Our school has arranged a big food festival on Monday. Food festival on Monday. Every year the proceeds of the festival are given to the charities. Every year proceeds. What is mean by proceed? Proceedனா என்ன? Proceedனா வந்து அதில் வரக்கூடிய வருமானம். ஓகே, இது ஃபுட் ஃபெஸ்டிவல். and that is given to the mentally challenged and the cancer hospital. A student of 7th standard approaches his or neighbor to get some fees, food tokens as their financial assistance will be of great help to the needy underprivileged. என்ன சொல்ல வரேன்னா அந்த ஃபுட் டோக்கன் வாங்கினாங்க, அதோட பணம் வந்து சில ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் கூட போகுது அப்படின்னா. So by some mistake these lines are propping up, so it's a fault of that particular computer which is becoming very slow when I continue the classes. She succeeds in his attempt to sell some food token. The persuasive power of the writer can be seen in this paragraph. Persuasive power na enna, அது வந்து ஃபுட் டோக்கன் எப்படியாவது வாங்கிக்கங்க, இது வாங்கினா மற்றவங்களுக்கு நல்லா இருக்குது அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க இல்லையா, அதுதான் பர்சுவேஷன் அப்படின்றான். ஓகே, அண்ட் தென் கம்மிங் பேக் டு த லாஸ்ட் பேராகிராஃப். இந்த ஆர்குமெண்டேஷன் அப்படின்னா ஆர்குமெண்ட் பண்றது வந்து டிஸ்கஷன், டிபேட், அதுதான் அர்த்தம். In the argumentation paragraph, the writer presents his her viewpoints, providing evidence in support of his her stand. அது ஏன் அப்படி செஞ்சான்னு சொல்லி ப்ரூஃப் கொடுக்குறாங்க இல்லையா, அதுதான் ஆர்குமெண்டேஷன், ஆர்குமெண்ட். ஓகே, வேரியஸ் ரீசன்ஸ், ஃபேக்ட்ஸ், ஸ்டாட்டிஸ்டிக்கல் டேட்டா, ரிசர்ச் ரிசல்ட்ஸ் அண்ட் பர்சனல் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் brought in as evidence. A powerful paragraph of argumentation is presented below. There is a notion that, notion என்ன, ஐடியா, என்ன நினைச்சிட்டு இருக்கேன் அப்படின்னாங்க இல்லையா. There is a notion that people who have money, beauty, coveted position, money, beauty, பணமும் இருக்கு, அழகு இருக்கு, coveted position இருக்கு. covetedனா என்ன, நல்ல ஒரு கோவெட்டா நல்லா அச்சீவ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு பொசிஷன், பாப்புலாரிட்டியும் இருக்கு, ஆர் த ஹாப்பியஸ்ட் அண்ட் த மோஸ்ட் ஃபார்ச்சுனேட். பட் த ஃபாலோயிங் டிக்ளரேஷன் டிஸ்பியூட் தி காமன் ஹெல்ட் நோஷன். நம்ம இப்படி தான் நினைக்கிறோம், அவங்ககிட்ட பணம் இருக்குது, பியூட்டியும் இருக்குது. ஒரு ஆக்ட்ரஸ் எடுத்துக்குவேன், அவன்கிட்ட பணம் இருக்குது, நல்ல ஆக்டிங் பொசிஷன் இருக்குது, பியூட்டியும் இருக்குது, பாப்புலாரிட்டியும் இருக்குது, ஃபேன் கிளப் இருக்குது, எல்லாமே இருக்குது. பட் நிம்மதியே இல்லை, நைட்டில் தூக்கம் வராது. நிறைய ஆக்டர்ஸ் எல்லாம் சூசைட் பண்ணிக்குவாங்க, ஏகப்பட்ட ஸ்கேம்ஸில், அதில் இதில் ஸ்கேம் இல்லை, ஏதாவது ஒரு ஸ்கேம், என்ன சொல்கிறது, டென்ஷனில் அப்படி இன்வால்வ் ஆகிட்டு இருக்கும். The following declares this specific. The Texas millionaire, டெக்சாஸ்னா அமெரிக்கன் சிட்டி, அமெரிக்கன் ஸ்டேட், southern state which has got very good Indian climate, and this is a place where we have got launching facility by the NASA also is there. We have got Houston, from where rockets are launched almost even 2 days before there was a launch. Houston in Texas is a South American, southern North American states, and mainly confided, I thought money could buy happiness, money, but I have been miserably desired. Miserable na enna, கெட்ட காலம், என்ன சொல்றது, மிசரபிள்னா ரொம்ப பாவமான காலம் அது. இஸ் டிஸ்இல்யூஷன் அப்படின்னா, இல்லூஷன்னா என்ன, இல்லூஷன்னா வந்து கண்ணுக்கு தெரியாது, பட் அது இருக்கிற மாதிரி இருக்கும். என்ன illusion na, இப்போ suppose you can have an illusion that you are going to get 100% marks without hard work. அது ஒரு illusion தான். So disillusion அப்படின்னா, நான் யோசிச்சது அது தப்பா போச்சு அப்படின்னாங்களே, அதுதான் disillusion. So a famous film star break down, I have money, beauty, glamour and popularity, I should be the happiest in the world, but I am miserable. என்கிட்ட எல்லாமே இருக்குது, இது இருக்கு, இது இருக்கு, இது இருக்கு, இது இருக்கு, ஆனால் ஹாப்பினஸ் இல்லை. அந்த மிசரபிள்னா என்ன, ரொம்ப பாவமான இருக்குது. வை எ டாப் பிரிட்டிஷ் சோஷியல் லீடர்ஸ் ஐ லாஸ்ட் ஆல் டிசைர் டு லிவ். வாழக்கூடியது இந்த ஆசையே போயிடுச்சு அப்படின்னா. Yet I have desire to live. Yet I have everything to live for. For what is the matter? The reason is there are better and nobler things than this. இதை விட நல்லா பண்ணக்கூடியது காரியம் இருக்குது அப்படின்னா, gives the purpose in life and lasting happiness. Okay, so in the end we are going to put ourselves into some questions. What are the following questions? What is the topic sentence? Write a note on the structure of the paragraphs. So what is a topic sentence? It should have some topic there. The name itself says. Structure of the paragraph, I told you it should have some reason, cause and all those things. Mention at least two types of paragraphs. So have you seen the two types of paragraph? What are they? Can you just recall? So we have seen it should be unity and compare and contrast, reason and cause. Okay, so here is types of paragraphs. I think you have seen the descriptive paragraphs and the sequential paragraphs. Give at least one example of the cause and effect. Cause, reason and effect, adu kuda sollaninga. What are the transitional words that indicate the comparison? So you can just work out. We'll just see. Write a paragraph on the following topics. My dream home, ban of practice, we stitch in time, saves night. ட்ரீம் ஹோம்னா யூஸ்வலி நீங்கள் எப்படி வீடு இருக்கணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி நீங்கள் எழுதலாம். அதில் வந்து சீக்வென்ஷியலாக நீங்கள் எழுதலாம். இஃப் யூ சி ஹவ் யூ Then ban on the plastics is a very hot topic. Why plastics? For this you must know some science about the use of the plastics there. Stitch in time saves 9 அப்படின்னா என்ன அர்த்தம் அப்படின்னா தேவையான நேரத்தில் நீங்கள் வந்து ஸ்டிச்னா என்ன தேய்க்கிறது. இது பின்னாடி ஒரு கதை இருக்குது. என்னன்னா ஏதோ போட்டில் போயிட்டு இருப்பாங்க, அந்த போட்டில் ஏதோ கிழிஞ்சிரும். அதில் வந்து ஒரு ஆள் டைம்லேயே வந்து ஸ்டிச் பண்ணிடுறான். அந்த ஸ்டிச் பண்ண உடனே நம்ம 9 பேர், 9 பேர்னா அது இங்கே ஒரு 10 பேர் கொடுக்கலாம்னா அது எவ்வளோ அர்த்தம், நிறைய நம்பர், இட்ஸ் குட் குவான்டிட்டி, ரைட்? ஸோ ஸ்டிச் தேவையான நேரத்தில் நீங்கள் உதவி பண்ணிங்கன்னா அதாவது நிறைய பேருக்கு உதவும் அப்படின்னு சொல்ல வரேன் இதில். ஸோ யூ கேன் ஃபைண்ட் அவுட் பை taking classes and on these things, for some poor people, it can help them get a very good future in this particular time, tough times. Okay, so I think you have seen, you can do some exercise, you can write it, you can write the stitching time service nice as a kind of assignment and then submit there. So thank you for watching.